Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. I am so excited because a great friend, but a very artistic and creative friend, Sylvia Douglas, is here. And because this month, National Upcycling Day is celebrated in June, and I really wanted Sylvia to talk about just her creations, which of course you see one behind her, her process, but just how she really got started in all this. So, Sylvia, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Jen. I'm happy to be here as always. Happy to talk to you.
So, what made you decide to really, because you're still do trainings, but what made you to also add, your business, which is recycling refined, to what you
Mhm.
offer the world?
I retired from day to day training last February, and the transition has been really interesting. And I was here one day, maybe a little bit before I retired, but I had moved to a new apartment and I needed something to go over the television. There was a space over the television that needed something in it. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, what should I put there? And I decided on a mask. And then you start thinking one thing after another, what I'm going to make it out of, and so on and so forth at 3 o'clock in the morning before you finally go back to sleep. Um, and then the faces started. That's where it all began.
Mm. So, what made you decide to choose like cardboard as the material, the what you could use to actually create those masks? Because of course, see, I've had the privilege of seeing them in person, so I know how the scale of them, but also I sometimes get a little behind the scenes of the process. But what made you decide, just like, you know what, I want a mask cardboard?
Well, I get in at 3 o'clock inspiration, trying to figure out what do I use, and I hadn't quite figured it out. I went to work the next day and into the mailroom, and there was this huge, and I mean huge, cardboard box that they had ordered and never used. And aha! So I hauled this thing home. The thing was big as Milwaukee, I'm telling you. Um, and that's where it started. And I found it was kind of fun because you have lots of textures in the cardboard. And there's all different kinds of cardboard. I mean, the list goes on and on. But the first one was more of a African mask like
Okay,
figure.
okay. So how and speaking of the mask, how do you decide like what they look like? Like I love the one behind you because it's got glasses, just that expression. But how do you choose like, this time I'm going to make this face?
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of it is when I first started, they were African masks, and then I started to make them look more realistic. That's been the transition going on and on. Each one, most of them have come out of my imagination. As you start carving the paper up, and then how you're going to do the hair, and trying to make eyeglasses because I love eyeglasses. Um, I have almost 40 pairs of regular. I have 40 pairs of eyeglasses. So how do you make them so they look realistic, so on and so forth. And it's come out of the imagination until recently. I've started to try to do things that are more realist, more likenesses of people.
Mm. So, and one of the things, and this because I know it and because I've seen them up close, you use a lot of different materials that we would otherwise just like, that needs to go in the recycling, it needs to go in the trash. But you just get like so inspired. You get your face lights up when you see it could be a cork. It could be one of those, I guess you call them sporks or something.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh
just use
man,
a lot of different materials.
can I tell them the story, the IKEA story, Jan?
Yes, you can, Silly. Because either if you weren't going to tell it, I was going to tell the IKEA story.
Janet came to my house and doing an organization thing. we decided I needed another piece of furniture. So off we went to IKEA and got a, the eight square, like a credenza type thing. Well, Janet laughed at me because I was excited to get my credenza, but the box, oh, the box. She's still laughing at me. It's been over a year. She's the box with just the perfect weight of cardboard. You could curve it and bend it because depending upon what the cardboard is used for, some of them is really thick to support whatever's going to go inside, and some has more flexibility. And this was just the perfect combination. I was very excited, and Janet has been teasing me ever since.
And that is so true because it was just like that passion just came out. I was so excited. But you know what? It was like both of us because I was excited because we went to IKEA and we
Mm-hmm.
just bought that, that a kind of bookcase shelving unit so
Mm-hmm.
you could, store some of your supplies and things like that. So I was excited to start working on it. But then you were over on the other side when I was trying to open the box and you just were really looking at it. And it's just amazing. They always say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So
It
that's
is.
how it
It's the
was.
truth.
And I just see how you taking that. I mean, now I even look at cardboard different because like I said, I still have a red box. I just want to hand deliver it because I'm thinking, but I have it's like a little small red box, but I'm like, what can you use this red for? Because you would
Lipstick.
use, yeah, what did you say?
Lipstick.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I mean, because you got iframes, lipsticks, you have used different pieces for earrings, rings. You just have really, truly just at least shown me how you can just take something and just create something that is so beautiful because you have so many different faces. You got clients across the country and around the world. So, that's why, I just wanted to share with my listeners and those watching, how we can truly upcycle things sometimes without just
Mm-hmm.
throwing them in the trash. So, Sylvia, how do you stay organized because you do trainings, but you
Mm-hmm.
also have that time and space for doing creative things. You're a mother, you're a grandmother, you're a sister. So, how do you just kind of figure out just how to manage it all, but also sometimes just managing all the things that, take into going and creating a mask?
Well, some of it is that I have a friend named Janet who is. I'm telling you, we've been friends for
It's a long time,
like 12, 15 years, something like that. And little
probably.
things that she says that really has really helped me organize my life around doing some of these things so that you do have time for creativity. So everything isn't, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. But how do you get it done? And prioritize. One of the things that I just loved is how much time does it really take you in the morning? If you get up at 7 and have to be at work at 9, how much can you really? I loved that. How much time does it take to make your coffee, walk the dog, whatever it is? Um, so that's been very helpful in prioritizing what you have to do today, and then also having some prioritization for I need to work on my faces. I need my family. I got to cut cardboard. That's what everybody. Yeah, you cutting cardboard? Yes, but because that's an essential part of what I do with my life, then time has to be made for that. Just as important as paying the phone bill and all the other things that you have is if taking time for your creativity or the baking if that's your thing or exercise. All these things are part of somebody's day in their life, and you have to have time for that as well.
And I love the way you just incorporate your time with spending with people as well as yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can the listeners connect with you, learn about, your faces, but also the other creative things that you do?
Well, I also paint jackets, and I don't think I have a good shot of that. So the jackets are back here. That I paint denim jackets, and I have my website is recyclingrefined.net, and on there you can see all the faces. keep trying to update them, keep the list going. There's been about 15 or 16 that have been made so far. Um, and then the jackets, if people want jackets, those are also available. Everything that I make is one of a kind. I think that's also an important thing for folks to know. Nothing is cookie cutter. Nothing is so and so got one and I want one too. It doesn't work that way. And people can identify the kind of things they want. I want one with glasses. I want male or female. I want lots of hair. I want not much hair. I want a beard for a guy or mustache or whatever it is. So you can have what you want and then work together and create the one of a kind item.
And of course, Sylvia is not only just creating, but she's also exhibiting. I mean, her exhibition schedule is just, we always have to try to keep up with it because every time I see her, she's like, oh, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So that's also a great way to connect with her on her website as
Mm-hmm.
well. And of course, I will have her website as well as all her social media platforms so you can connect with her that way as well. Well, Sylvia, thank you so much for your time. It is always a pleasure to see you, even though I do see you on a weekly basis, but still, even these little moments, I enjoy them as well. So thank you so much.
And thank you very much for having me and letting me talk about my art and the kind of things I'm doing here.
Oh, my pleasure.